Hi, I'm Sarai. I've been drawing faces since I was 10 years old, right after Detective Foster adopted me. It started as therapy, but turned into an obsession. Faces tell stories, especially the ones you're trying to forget. I sat across from Mark at our kitchen table, sketching as he reviewed case files. Our Friday night routine hadn't changed in 15 years. He'd pour himself 2 fingers of whiskey, I'd make tea, and we'd work in comfortable silence. You still drawing strangers from the coffee shop? Mark asked, not looking up from his papers. Yeah, there was this guy yesterday. Something about his eyes. I flipped to the newest sketch. Like he was always calculating something. Mark glanced up casually, then froze. His coffee mug hovered midair, knuckles whitening. What's wrong? I asked, pencil pausing. Nothing, just... Where'd you see this man? His voice was too controlled, too professional. The grindhouse on Maple? He comes in Tuesdays and Thursdays around 4. I tilted my head. Why? Do you know him? Mark closed my sketchbook slowly. How accurate is this drawing? Pretty exact. I have a good memory for faces. Sarai, I need to ask you something. He leaned forward, cop face on. Have you ever seen my old case files? The ones in my office safe? I rolled my eyes. You mean the ones with the combination that's my birthday? No, I respect your privacy. This man, he tapped my sketchbook. I think he's connected to your parents' case. The room tilted slightly. What? How? The facial structure, the eyes? It matches a composite we never released? My heart hammered. Are you saying I randomly sketched my family's killer? I'm saying it's a strong possibility. But you told me the case went cold, that there were no leads. My voice rose sharply. We had a suspect, Nathan Wells, but not enough evidence to charge him. Mark's expression darkened. He disappeared before we could build a case. And you never told me? For 15 years? I stood up, knocking over my tea. I was protecting you. We weren't sure it was him, and I didn't want you obsessing over... Obsessing? They were my parents. My little brother? The pencil snapped in my hand. What else haven't you told me? Mark stood up, reaching for my shoulder. Sarai, please. No! I jerked away. All these years I trusted you. What did this Nathan Wells look like? We only had a partial description, never a clear photo. But you recognized him instantly in my sketch. Because I've never forgotten the suspect profile. And now he's sitting in your coffee shop. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking. I'm calling Jenna. Jenna doesn't work these cases anymore. But she was your partner then. She'll remember. I jabbed at the screen. Does she know you've been lying to your daughter for 15 years? I never lied. You withheld the truth. Same thing. The phone rang. Jenna, it's Sarai. Can you come over? Now? It's about my parents' case. Mark sank back into his chair, watching me with apprehension. What are you planning to do? I stared down at the face I'd sketched. The face of the man who destroyed my life. I'm going to make him pay. Legally. With your help or without it. Jenna arrived 20 minutes later, her detective badge still hanging around her neck. Her eyes darted between Mark and me. What's happened? She asked, setting her bag down. I pushed my sketchbook toward her. Know him? Jenna's reaction mirrored Mark's. The slight intake of breath, the hardening of her eyes. Where did you see this man? She asked, voice tense. Coffee shop, twice weekly, regular as clockwork. Mark, is this... Looks like Wells, he confirmed. Older, but the resemblance is striking. Will someone please tell me everything? I demanded. No more protection, no more secrets. Jenna sighed, sitting down. Nathan Wells was our primary suspect. He worked at your parents' investment firm. We believe he was embezzling funds and your father discovered it. And that's why he killed them? My voice cracked. We think so, Mark said. But we couldn't prove it. The evidence was circumstantial. He disappeared right after the murders, Jenna added. Changed his name, appearance. The trail went cold. Until now. I tapped the sketch. He's calling himself Daniel Williams. He mentioned working in finance. How do you know his name? Mark asked sharply. Because unlike you, I talk to people. He's commissioned artwork from me. I laughed bitterly. Ironic, right? Paying the daughter of the people he murdered? Mark grabbed my arm. Sarai, if this is Wells, he's dangerous. You need to stay away from him. I jerked free. Not happening. This is my chance to get justice. My phone buzzed. Kayla's ringtone. Hey, Kay, I answered, trying to sound normal. Still on for dinner? I'm outside your building. Actually, something's come up. I brought Thai food and that documentary you wanted to see. I sighed. Come up. Use your key. When Kayla entered, she immediately sensed the tension. Whoa, emergency family meeting? Sort of. I hesitated. They think I found my parents' killer. Kayla nearly dropped the food bags. What? That guy from the coffee shop I told you about? The one who commissioned the cityscape? Finance guy with the fancy watch? That's him. Turns out he might be Nathan Wells. Kayla set the food down slowly. Sarai, please tell me you're not planning something crazy. Define crazy. Confronting a potential murderer? We need to reopen the investigation, Jenna interrupted. Properly? Through channels. After 15 years? I shook my head. You said yourself the evidence was circumstantial. That was then, Mark said. We have facial recognition now. Database searching? DNA techniques that didn't exist before? And what if it's not enough? I challenged. What if he walks away again? Then we keep trying, Jenna insisted. Legally. While he disappears again? No way! Kayla touched my shoulder. Sarai, I get that you want justice, but… No, you don't get it, I snapped. Your family wasn't murdered. You didn't spend 15 years not knowing why. So what's your plan? Mark asked. Vigilante justice? Of course not, but I've already established contact. He trusts me. I looked between them. I can get him talking, record it, get evidence. Absolutely not, Mark thundered. That's entrapment and it's dangerous. I'm delivering his commission next week. He invited me to his home office. I crossed my arms. I'm going, with or without your help. Jenna and Mark exchanged looks. If, and that's a big if, we considered this, Jenna said carefully. We'd need safeguards, surveillance, backup. You'd help? I asked, surprised. I'd help keep you from getting killed, Jenna clarified. But you'd follow our instructions exactly. Kayla threw up her hands. Am I the only sane person here? This is a terrible idea. It's the only idea, I replied. 15 years, Kay. I need answers. And if he recognizes you? She challenged. If he realizes you're the little girl who survived? I was 7. Kids look different as adults. I leaned forward. Plus, he thinks my last name is Foster now. Mark rubbed his temples. I can't believe I'm considering this. I'll wear a wire, I offered. If anything seems off, I'll leave immediately. You'll have a panic button, Jenna corrected. And we'll be monitoring everything. Mark stared at the sketch. Tomorrow, we verify his identity. Check property records, employment history. If, and only if, we confirm it's Wells, we plan the next step. I nodded, heart racing with a mixture of fear and determination. Deal. The following Thursday, I stood outside Nathan Wells' penthouse apartment, portfolio in hand, wire taped securely beneath my blouse. Mark and Jenna were parked in a surveillance van 3 blocks away. Testing, testing, I whispered. We hear you, Mark's voice came through my earpiece. Remember, deliver the art, make small talk, then leave. No accusations. Unless an opportunity presents itself, I murmured. Sarai, Mark warned. I pressed the doorbell before he could finish. Nathan, or Daniel as he called himself, opened the door with a welcoming smile that turned my stomach. Sarai, right on time. He gestured me inside. I've been looking forward to seeing the finished piece. His apartment was impeccably decorated, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Photos on the walls showed him with a teenage boy. His son, I presumed. Beautiful place, I commented, setting up my portfolio. You've lived here long? About 8 years. Moved here after my divorce. He prepared 2 glasses of water. So let's see this masterpiece. I unveiled the cityscape he'd commissioned, a panoramic view of downtown at sunset. What do you think? Extraordinary. He examined it closely. You've captured something beyond just buildings. There's emotion here. I'm glad you like it. I accepted the water glass, not drinking. I've been working on my technique since I was a child. After my parents died, his expression flickered almost imperceptibly. I'm sorry to hear that. Recently? 15 years ago. Murder-suicide, they said. I watched his face carefully. But I never believed that version. Nathan's hand tightened around his glass. How tragic. Were you very young? 7. Young enough to be confused? Old enough to remember? I moved toward his bookshelf, spotting a framed diploma. Nathan Wells? Is that you? The room temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. That's my birth name, he said carefully. I legally changed it after my divorce. How observant of you. I noticed details, like how people react to unexpected questions. I turned to face him, or how they look when they're hiding something. Miss Foster? I'm not sure what you're implying, but... It's not Foster. Not really. It's Collins. I set down my water glass. Sarai Collins. The blood drained from Nathan's face. That's not possible. The little girl whose family you murdered? All grown up and standing in your living room? I smiled without warmth. Surprise. You're making a serious accusation. His voice hardened. I think you should leave. Why? Feeling uncomfortable? Like my father did when he confronted you about the embezzlement? This is absurd. He moved toward his phone. I'm calling security. Go ahead. I'm sure the police would love to hear your explanation for why you changed your identity and fled right after my family was killed. Nathan's hand froze mid-reach. You have no proof of anything, don't I? Detective Foster, the man who adopted me, never stopped building the case against you. That case went cold decades ago. But you didn't, did you? You just got comfortable. Careless. I tapped my temple. I never forget a face, even one I only glimpsed as a child, hiding in the closet while you shot my family. Nathan's expression transformed, all pretense evaporating. You were supposed to be at your grandmother's that night. The admission hung in the air between us. My heart hammered so hard I was sure the wire would pick it up. So you admit it, I whispered. I admit nothing. He stepped closer. And nobody would believe the traumatized memories of a 7-year-old. What about the testimony of a 22-year-old? With a perfect sketch of you and a recorded confession? His eyes widened. You're recording this? Every word. He lunged forward, grabbing my arm. Give me that recording. Let go of me! You think you can come into my home and threaten me? His fingers dug into my flesh. I should have checked the closet that night. The apartment door burst open. Mark and Jenna rushed in, weapons drawn. Police! Step away from her! Mark shouted. Nathan released me, raising his hands. This woman broke in and threatened me. I want her arrested. Nathan Wells, Jenna announced formally. You're under arrest for the murders of Joseph, Elena, and Michael Collins. And now for assault and threatening Miss Collins. As they handcuffed him, Nathan's eyes locked with mine. This won't stick. It's been too long. We'll see about that, I replied, rubbing my bruised arm. I've been waiting 15 years for this moment. I can wait a little longer for justice. The courthouse corridor was quiet when Nathan approached, flanked by his attorney. 6 months of preliminary hearings had led to this moment, his last attempt to avoid trial. Sarai, he called softly. Can we talk? Privately? Mark stepped between us. Not happening. It's okay, I told Mark, though my pulse quickened. What do you want, Nathan? His attorney hovered nervously. Mr. Wells would like to discuss a potential resolution. You mean a plea deal? I crossed my arms. After what he did? Nathan's expression softened. A calculated performance. I made a terrible mistake years ago. one I've regretted every day since. Save it for the jury. Please. He lowered his voice. I have a son, Tyler. He doesn't know anything about this. You should have thought about that before killing my family. I was desperate then. Your father was going to expose the embezzlement. I would have lost everything. So you took everything from me instead? Nathan glanced at his lawyer, then back to me. What if I pleaded guilty? Voluntary manslaughter instead of first-degree murder. I'd serve time and you'd have closure. Closure? I laughed harshly. You think 15 years is enough to earn forgiveness? I'm not asking for forgiveness, just mercy. His eyes glistened with practiced tears. For Tyler's sake. I studied his face. The same face I'd drawn countless times from memory. You know what I remember most clearly? I stepped closer. Not the gunshots, not even finding their bodies. It was the expression on your face afterward. You looked inconvenienced, like you'd spilled coffee, not destroyed lives. His attorney intervened. Miss Collins, please consider. I have considered. Every angle. For 15 years. I straightened my shoulders. No deal. Full trial. Maximum charges. You'll regret this, Nathan hissed, mask slipping. They'll dig into your past, your therapy records, question your memory. Let them. I didn't flinch. Unlike you, I have nothing to hide. The courtroom doors opened and Jenna emerged. They're ready for us. As we filed in, Mark squeezed my shoulder. You okay? Better than I've been in years, I replied honestly. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Nathan's attorney tried everything, attacking my childhood memory, suggesting police bias, presenting Nathan as a reformed man. But the evidence was overwhelming. The recorded confession, financial records Jenna had uncovered, even DNA from a preserved cigarette butt found at the scene. When the jury returned, I held my breath. On the count of first-degree murder in the death of Joseph Collins, we find the defendant guilty. The same verdict followed for my mother and brother. Nathan didn't look at me as they led him away. Later that evening, Kayla, Mark, Jenna, and I gathered at our apartment. 25 years to life, Kayla marveled. It really happened. Part of me still can't believe it, I admitted, curled on the couch. Mark handed me a cup of tea. How does it feel? Unfinished somehow? I stared into the steaming cup. Like I've been climbing a mountain for 15 years and now I've reached the summit, but... But what? Jenna asked gently. I don't know what comes next. Kayla nudged my shoulder. Your art show next month, for starters. I've been thinking about that, I said slowly. I want to do a new series, not faces anymore. No? Mark raised an eyebrow. I'm thinking new beginnings. Buildings being constructed, seeds sprouting, dawn breaking. Jenna smiled. Sounds beautiful. Will you still draw people at all? Kayla asked. I considered this. Maybe, but not strangers. The people who matter. I glanced at Mark. Starting with my dad, my real dad. Mark's eyes glistened. I'd be honored. Do you think you'll ever speak to Nathan again? Jenna asked carefully. No. My answer came without hesitation. Some actions can't be undone. Some wounds never fully heal. I don't need his apologies or explanations. So what do you need? Kayla asked. I looked around at the 3 faces watching me with love and concern. My chosen family. This, I answered simply. And time. Time to figure out who Sarai Collins is when she's not defined by tragedy or revenge. Whoever she is, Mark said, raising his glass. I'm proud of her. We clinked glasses in the quiet apartment, the weight of 15 years lifting slowly from my shoulders. So, I asked them, a genuine smile forming, what would you think about getting a dog?